And I think if we hit one of these two Crushing Hammer, we should just be set up to pretty much dominate. So Crushing Hammer, heads, they should just scoop about any time now. Coalossal is one of the tankiest Pokemon in the format, and it's finally seen its first major win. Let's take a look at the list. Welcome back to the channel, Little Flexers. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we have for you the Coalossal list brought to you by Formula One Man, who won a 170-person tournament with it just last week. This is the first major win for Coalossal and kind of puts it on the map in my eyes. We've seen a lot of Eternatus and more specifically a lot of Pikarom in the last few weeks, gaining a lot of steam as being very viable in this format because of the absence of Coalossal. But now that that metagame is established with those fighting weak decks at the top, it's time for Coalossal to rise again. This is the list. I like it for a number of reasons. The first reason being that it's just very consistent and standard. There's not really a ton of tricks, and it just aims for as much consistency as a Coalossal deck can bring. So the first couple of cards here, the Coalossal V and the Coalossal VMAX, both at a 4 count. Of course, we're going to try to be attacking with Coalossal VMAX most of the time. So we have the Eruption Shot, 1 fighting energy, 40 damage, and discard the top card of your deck. If that card is an energy, you can attach it to this Pokemon and do 90 more damage. Pretty good. So you're hitting for 130 base if you do fulfill the conditions on that attack. The second attack is what we are trying to accelerate to. So for 3 energy, Gmax Boulder does 240 damage. That's really nice, of course, right? 240 damage, enough to knock out a Zacian V. It's enough to hit KO any VMAX in the format and just is a solid overall number. So Eruption Shot into Gmax Boulder is where we are going to try to go with most of our games. We also have ways around Zamazenta in the form of Galarian Sirfetch'd V. Zamazenta poses a big threat to the deck as its ability prevents it from being attacked by VMAX Pokemon. So we need some kind of option for, that deck, be it Lucario Melmetal or ADPZ. There's a number of decks that can effectively play Zamazenta V. Galarian Sirfetch'd ability Resolute Spear. Once during your turn when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active, you may move any amount of fighting energy from your other Pokemon to it. So this is really nice because, again, we're trying to power up a huge Coalossal VMAX. We can just switch into a Galarian Sirfetch'd, move all that energy, and start to hit for 200 damage. Now, the Meteor Smash, 200 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can attack. It's a little bit awkward to try to switch in and out of Galarian Sirfetch'd when you're trying to hit KO as Zamazenta. Of course, Zamazenta having 230 health, that can be kind of an issue trying to find switches. But it's the best that our fighting deck can do against that very hard counter. We have 1 Crobat and 1 Dedenne, along with 3 Oranguru. The Primate Wisdom here is going to be how we stack the top of our deck for the Coalossal VMAX. And I like that there's a 3 count because a lot of times you just can't really afford to prize it. I think a lot of Coalossal decks are running 2. You could probably get away with 2, but it's also often very nice to be able to use a Primate Wisdom before you play a Research, for instance, and then still have a Primate Wisdom for after. So I like the 3 count there just to ensure that you can have at least 2 Oranguru on the bench when you want them. Last couple of tech Pokemon here. 1 Jirachi with the Dreamy Revelation. This is just an added little bonus card. This was kind of how I figured Jirachi would be used when it was first released, just as that little extra je ne sais quoi to decks. When you maybe get knocked out or something, or you have a spare switch in hand, you can go ahead and find 1 more card from the top of your deck. I like this Jirachi in here as a 1 of, and the Phione with a Whirlpool Suction. You're often going to be needing to draw cards with your deck, and so it doesn't make a ton of sense to play a higher count of Boss. With the Phione, it allows you to have this kind of pseudo gust effect, pseudo boss's orders. Of course, your opponent will get to choose which Pokemon they come active with the Whirlpool Suction, but you get that pseudo gust if your opponent is building something that you just can't deal with, but you can deal with everything on the bench. Then you can go ahead and Phione, push something that you can knock out on the bench up to the active. Got pretty standard here in the supporters. 4 Research, 3 Marnie, 3 Boss's Orders, and I like this count here of the 4 Rotom Phone, just making sure that you can find what you need when you need it. Of course, Rotom Phone, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 of them, and put that card on the top of your deck, shuffle everything else back in. You also have 4 Crushing Hammer, and this is going to be our major way that we try to counter ADP, as well as other decks. Of course, everything has to attach energy, so it's just nice to have that option to be able to remove it. So that is the list. We're going to show you 3 games I think that really signify how this deck plays, We got a couple of ADP matchups and then a Firebox matchup. You're going to see really just how Coalossal operates against ADP, kind of what that matchup is like. I'll go over what I am looking for, for most of the turns. And it is this kind of interesting back and forth with those two decks, kind of predicated on whether or not you hit hammers. Let me know down in the comments below if you're going to take Coalossal to your next major tournament. I would love to hear about it, and I'd love to help you with a list. My DMs are always open on Twitter. You can find me at RealJohnWalter. I also run a podcast every Wednesday night that you can send me questions that you want us to answer. It's called Tag Team Pokemon. You can find us on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, and every podcasting platform. So that is the deck profile. Let's take a look at Coalossal VMAX. Okay, I swear, I had two of the best games with this deck, and I go to hit stop record, and I realize we weren't recording in the first place. So we are back with a couple more games that I have no doubt in my mind. Dude, we beat an ADP deck that got a turn 1 GX. We beat a Togekiss VMAX deck that had resistance on us, man. That's a tough one. But just as in life, when you get knocked down, you get back up again. Famous song. That's what we have to do here. Oh, jeez, dude. Life doesn't get any easier, does it? All right, so we'll take this stone fighting. I mean, I kind of think we have to go for a Dedenne, but I'm going to wait for that decision until next turn. This could be an ADP deck that could play Mawile, but I'm willing to risk it because this is just, I don't want to get rid of this stone fighting. I don't really feel that there's a need to dig for a bunch of cards. We definitely don't want to get a Crobat. So the other thing that could happen is we could top deck like a Quick Ball, and that would be a pretty good top deck for us. We could go Quick Ball into the Oranguru, right, and do our 130. So I'm feeling good about this hand. The thing that could really body us is a Mawile for sure. But still wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yo, did my opponent use Stellar Wish? I guess they did, right? Too busy gabbing. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because we could always put Phione under, right? We see another Stellar Wish. One thing we can't have happen is a turn 1 GX attack like I had in the game that got erased, or that the game that never happened. I don't know if it didn't necessarily get erased. It just never happened in the first place. I can't prove it happened. It definitely happened. I can't prove it happened. So they're gonna go with that other Stellar Wish and another Cherish Ball. Please be for Dedenne and don't be for Mawile. Thank you. Thank you. Bless. They're gonna grab the Dedenne. Go ahead and play that Dedenne. And yo, that's a lot of juice in that hand. That's a lot of juice. Let's take a look at each of the individualized. 2 switch, huge. Turbo Patch, fine. And there's a Water Energy coming down. So we just got to survive. They're going to bring it active and they're going to go for the research. Yo, that is a bold strat, Cotton. That is a very bold strat. Do they have the turn 1? I'm going to go ahead and Quick Ball. For a Zacian, I would imagine. And then play it down and maybe Intrepid Sword. Or maybe they get that Zacian and they... one of those nice full art Zacians. Guys, if you haven't gotten your full art Zacian from Pokemon, they're sending everyone... well, they're not sending you a free code. But there's 50,000 to download if you're in the game. If you haven't heard about this, you just go on to your code redemption and type in Players Cup 2 REG, and you can get yourself a locked full art Zacian like that. Great idea by Pokemon. I think that's awesome. Cape of Toughness comes down, and they're gonna just Intrepid Sword. So on our turn, we're looking for a Crushing Hammer. And no sooner do I say the words than it comes. Oh, okay, we get Tails. But in any case, We still found it. That was pretty gas. All right, so we'll get our Dedenne, go here and play that down. Get ourselves some cards. Find ourselves another Crushing Hammer. 0 for 2, dude. Come on, man. Never lucky, bro. Never lucky. We could get the Phione. Phione doesn't seem horrible because they're already down 3 Switch. So they would bring up, what, the Jirachi? But we want to swing into the ADP. Yeah, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to go for the Phione here. Let's grab a Cole. I really want a Marnie, but the problem with Marning here is that we just need to find a VMAX and an energy. So we do barely. But I think that was the right call. So we'll go there. This doesn't matter. Well, it could matter for the comm. Okay, so we'll Primate Wisdom. The Capture to the top. Get another VMAX. I guess it doesn't matter now. It still might. It still might. We'll keep it in hand. And we'll eruption shot. Of course, doing 140 damage or 130 damage, excuse me, to the active. But the biggest thing is that we're threatening on the next turn to be able to G-Max Boulder for a knockout. And then that is really good because the biggest thing that ADP can't do is just accelerate. The Cape of Toughness is difficult, but we do have boss's orders. We should be able to get around that on subsequent turns. They're going to go ahead and try to bring up... They bring up the Dedenne. I don't agree. I really don't like that play. I think you bring up the Coalossal V if you're going to do this. Okay. Go here. Go here. Get ourselves a Jirachi. And a Guru. Let's put the boss on top. Oh, we get an energy. All right. Go there. We need a switch. No switch. No switch. Can we find a switch? Oh no, dude. We don't get a switch. This is going to be rough now. No switch. They take a knockout here, go down to 3 prizes. We take a knockout here, but the problem is that this Zacian is going to get too much energy. If we can just find a switch there, I think we win the game. Or an Air Balloon, of which we play 2. That's so tough. We were talking about it here. The Ultimate Ray into the Dedenne is just not what you want to see. So now they only have to take out 1 Coalossal to win the game. We can still win if they don't get a bunch of Gust, but it's really hard with that Ultimate Ray. Because they're going to power up this Zacian. And unfortunately for us, we do not play any type of... we don't play any type of Tool Scrap. So we're not going to be able to get rid of that... that Cape of Toughness. That was a huge whiff by us, but we win the game, I think, otherwise. Just we're going to be down too far now. Down too far to bring it back. Unless they don't have boss. They could just not have boss. But they only need to go through 1 Coalossal. We're kind of behind in the prize trade. Go here. Put that on top. G-Max Bold. So one thing we could potentially do is we go switch into the Coalossal. They get that free Jirachi. We maybe needed to research there. I'm generally like, I don't know exactly why I'm saving this. Saving this Gust, you know what I mean? Like, we should probably try to get into... oh, and they have a Zamazenta as well. It's going to be tough to deal with, too. Dang, you hate to see it. Wow, that's really frustrating. Okay. The one saving grace is that they haven't played a supporter, so maybe they don't have what they need. Of course, they're going to be able to dig with the Jirachi, so it seems unlikely that they're not going to find what they need, but down 2 boss, they play Pokemon Catcher, which is janky. Real janky. Haven't seen Pokemon Catcher in lists in a long time. There's that energy switch, probably off the Dedenne to the Zamazenta. Yeah, we do see that. Gonna attach. Do they have a switch card? If they don't have a switch card, we actually do win the game. Knocking out the active and then knocking out a Dedenne. Tails. Good. But they have to have a switch. Or a scoop up net, probably. There's an Eldegoss. Gonna go for a research, I'm sure. Our boss? They're gonna try to bring this guy active? What's their strat? What's their strat? I'm trying to figure it out. Bringing an Oranguru active. They're gonna scoop up net. Okay. So they're not even gonna swing into. Alright, I understand. I understand. They must have a gust in hand or something. That to me feels incorrect though. I just pointing it out there. This to me feels like the wrong. Like, this ain't it, Chief. I think if you're trying to win, you probably just smack into the Coalossal and force me to have answers to it. But no matter. We go here. We get our boss. We boss up this. We put an energy there. We go Guru. Wisdom. One of these things. Phone. ET phone home. Go there. We'll leave a spot open, I guess, and then we'll Gmax Boulder. So then it all comes down to if they have Gust this turn or not. Obviously they've used 2 Gust. They have 2 catchers down too. So we'll see. Maybe it's just a catcher list. But they would need 1 more Gust to close this out. Otherwise, we have Gust on the top of our deck. Just waiting for it. See a Turbo Patch. Not necessarily useful, but I'd imagine that they like maybe have a research in hand or something. See what they opt to go for. There is that Turbo Patch to the active. Do we see no Gust? Jirachi? Maybe they'll manually retreat into Jirachi, try to dig a little bit more. Surely they'll see a 3rd boss's orders. There's a Pokemon Catcher. And heads, that's going to be the game. Shucks. It was so close. We had that one turn. That one single turn where if we were able to retreat, we would have won the game. But no matter. Trust me when I tell you that this deck does, in fact, have a winnable ADP matchup. We did it in the videos that I wasn't able to record. And we're going to do it again if I have anything to say about it. So we will go first. I think you generally want to go first with the decks that have like little setup. We didn't find what we needed to, but just like energy and Pokemon, like that's our best setup. So I think you generally go first in those situations. Let's go Dreamy Rev. Do find energy. But obviously no Pokemon. We'll go ahead and Primate Wisdom. Oh, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. With this hand, I'm almost tempted to go Dreamy Rev again. To try to find a Quick Ball or a Coalossal V. Because discarding 2 VMAX, we could obviously put one to the top of the deck with the Guru, but this is a lot of good juice. Okay, we get our redemption. The run it back. Salty run back here. Dude, what is with all the Zamazenta? This is insane. So terrible. It's Dreamy Rev. We have to take 1, right? All right. So then we'll go Primate Wisdom. Oh, yes. Yes. We'll discard everything. That one hurts. Okay, let's go here. Get ourselves a coal. Get ourselves an energy attachment. And then we will pass. So certainly not a spot you want to be in, but if they don't find themselves a retreat, you know, into the Zom, then we will get those 2 prizes. And honestly, that would pretty much offset kind of the struggle of Zamazenta. Because if we can find ourselves a Sirfetch'd, the problem here is that we're running low on switch cards. There's a big charm on the bench. See another energy attachment and a pass. So we have this. We have this. We have this. We do want to attach, right? The boss is at the top of the deck. Trying to think about Capture Energy wouldn't affect, right? Because this is not from the hand. I'm thinking about the next turn because we would want to take out the Guru, but maybe not. Maybe we just... No, and we don't want to capture early, is the thing. So let's go here. Put this on the top. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Go here. Retreat. And Eruption Shot. Okay, we find a Quick Ball. And we find a Marnie. Both good things. All right. So Meteor Shot is what we're trying to set up for. And we have the research. So we will try to get into that. They find themselves a bunch of energy here. And they're going to dink off probably our Stone Fighting. More than likely. That's the better card to... Yep, there we go. We do see that Stone Fighting. Let's go Quick Ball. Yo, we prized our Sirfetch'd. Game number 2 here with the amazing Coalossal VMAX deck. Can't wait to get into it here. And hopefully run it back from that first matchup with ADP. Dude, it snowed here in Columbus over the weekend. And it's beautiful. It really is. I love the winter time. Because, I mean, Christmas, you got Thanksgiving, all those nice things. But... it's just a beautiful time of year outside. I don't know. I like the fall, kind of the chillier weather. Certainly the winter is like, I grew up in Michigan, so I know a lot about really hard winters. There was some ridiculous stat that I heard where it was like, we went to school for some consecutive amount of days that was like the most in, you know, the United States or something. But anyway, the point being that they sent us to school, like even in some really adverse conditions, you know. So we are gonna find if we can get a Pokemon, then we can try to gust up this ADP and really put a big hit. Because then if we could poke, okay. I never mind. Forget I said anything. So there's that Marnie putting our nice hand to the bottom of the deck. We do get a Crushing Hammer, however. And we could still potentially set up that play against the ADP. I'm fine taking out a Zigzagoon though. That to me is really nice. Let's get a heads here. Just one time. We will quick ball away a boss. Look for, we need too much. I think we're going to take a Dedenne. Need a little bit too much. Dedenne. And we'll Rotom Phone if we don't find anything good on the top. Yeah, we don't find anything good. So we're going to just quick ball the Air Balloon. How many switch have we used? None. All right, we'll quick ball the Air Balloon. Get ourselves a Guru. Then we'll Marnie. What we don't want to do is we don't want to drop a Crobat if we don't have to. But we kind of have to, man. I'd love to take a knockout on the Zigzagoon. It's a really funky thing, but I think we do this. Still no, huh? All right, so we could go Rotom Phone and find a Coalossal. We do. Okay, so we do take that knockout. And then we'll go Primate Wisdom, put this on the top, and then we'll take a knockout on the active. All right. We could have taken a knockout even if we didn't get the energy, but the energy is nice because then we can threaten 240, 240, 240 on subsequent turns. So there's that. I don't love the hand. This hand is not good. We can save one of the bosses, obviously with the Guru, but you want to keep boss in hand as much as you can. As much as you can keep boss in hand, you want to do it. So they bring up the ADP. They're obviously looking for the energy switch, but they just attach a metal and they're going to Marnie? Okay, huge for us. Again, don't have to make those tough decisions on the boss's orders. Great hand for us. Let's go. Looks like this ADP is very kind of traditional, I would say. A U-turn board? Interesting play. I think they probably must play the Jirachi Amazing Rare. And I think if we hit one of these two Crushing Hammer, we should just be set up to pretty much dominate. We have a Marnie too, that's huge as well. Go Crushing Hammer, heads. They should just scoop about any time now. Let's play the Jirachi down, give us a little bit of extra draw support. And we do find a supporter to put on top here with the research going to the top. And yeah, that is the scoop there from my opponent. So we do get that salty run back with our Coalossal deck. Taking down that ADP. Huge stuff, huge stuff. Showing that it can really compete against the best of the best in this meta. But you didn't think we would just leave it at that, huh? Just 2 games against ADP and leave you hanging like that? Nah. Not on this channel. Not on this channel. Go ahead here. Get our Rotom Phone. It's got to be quick ball, right? Sadly. And Passerino. Not great. Not great. Again, having to discard, Crushing Hammers, Boss's Orders. Those are all bad things to discard. I hate this card as well. Going to be able to one-shot us. But we can, hopefully they just don't get a welder. Hopefully they can't GX attack on the first turn. I think just putting that early pressure would be really tough for us to deal with. But we'll try to make it work. We're just looking for no welder. You see that switch? They go into a Jirachi. And we see a Pokécom. So what could they Pokécom for? Maybe a Crobat. I mean, would be my initial thought. Could get another Jirachi. Okay. We see a Stellar Wish. Giant Hearth comes out. Do we have a welder? 2 energy come to hand. And we do see a welder. I love Pokemon. I love Pokemon. 3rd energy and a switch has to be out here, right? Oh, they pass. Okay, okay, okay. Crushing Hammer, heads. Give me another one. Just do me right. Tails. All right. So, with that in mind, let's give ourselves a Dedenne play. Let's go in with a Rotom Phone. We'll put Coalossal on the top. It's generally kind of difficult to find Coalossals with this deck, so I really value having that Coalossal. Hitting one heads is good on the Crushing Hammers because it means that we're not threatened by a GX attack for 300 on the next turn. Put another Coalossal down. Let's go for this other Crushing Hammer. Heads. And we will Quick Ball for an Oranguru. Getting that Oranguru set up. Go Guru, and we'll research. The problem that I see here is that we're not doing a ton against this Reshiram and Charizard. But we could easily take out a Heatran. We could easily take out a Dedenne, and those are our prizes kind of on the board. If we knock out this Jirachi, we can go for a Phione. We might not even have to deal with the Reshiram and Charizard. Might not even have to deal with it. There's a Crushing Hammer for my opponent. Things just got a little bit more interesting. Tails on that Crushing Hammer. Manual attachment to that Reshizard and a Dedenne. So at this point now, we actually don't have to even deal with the Jirachi. I assume, yeah, there's a Scoop Up Net, so they could probably just remove this from the field. But if we can get 3 boss, we'll be able to take our requisite prizes. Now, we've already taken that first prize, so maybe it does benefit us to go through the Reshiram and Charizard. I'm just trying to think through my routing possibilities, which you always want to make sure you do. There's a Welder. Very frustrating. And another Crushing Hammer. Tails, let's go. Scoop Up Net on the active. They're going to bring this up to 230. And at this point, we need to attach to the active and do 240. I think they're deciding whether or not to gust up something, and I wouldn't if I was in their position. Oh, they already played boss. Never mind. Yeah, they want to just Flare Strike the active. That's the correct play. So at this point, we go here. We evolve. We could go for Phione, but I think since we've already taken that first prize, we want to swing into the active. Go Pokecom for a Jirachi. Get that down. We have a switch target for the next turn. Put something on the top. Go ahead and Primate Wisdom, a switch to the top. Sure. Get a Guru. And then we'll go in with the G-Max Boulder, doing as much damage as we possibly can. Of course, they can just outrage us for the knockout, but even if we did, even if we tried to go for an eruption shot, they would still knock us out. Right? If we did 130 to them, they're doing 160, 170, minus 20, 150, so that's more than enough. Heatran's a little bit scary, granted. We see a Big Charm hit it. And there is a Mewtwo. Okay, very interesting. So I think my opponent is probably trying to decide whether or not they retreat or not. And that seems like a very valid thought, honestly. I think if I'm in their position, I probably do, because yeah, there's a switch. Okay. Yep. Go into the Heatran. I like that. Probably not moving all the energy, but you might actually, because there's no way I can one-shot the Heatran. So if you just like put all 4 onto the active, they do 350 on the next turn, and that will be game. See what they have to do here. I think they want to move at least 1. They're just going to Steaming Stomp. Bruh. Gives us an opportunity to potentially gust this thing. Oh, we kind of need a lot. Kind of do need a lot. Let's go Dreamy Rev. Find that fighting. Pokecom. Just to shuffle the deck. We'll take the Coalossal V. Let's go put Primate Wisdom something to the top. We need a support. Okay, that works. Let's go here, shuffle the deck, because of what we put, the switch that we put on top is not a good card. We want the boss. Don't get the boss. We do get a Marnie though. Okay. Do get a Marnie though. They did not play a supporter though. Okay, Primate Wisdom. Go Marnie. Definitely a shame that we have to do that. But no matter. And then we wish we would have found... Oh, do we just leave that active? Oh, that feels really rough, man. Because they're just going to get... They need one more welder to basically close out the game. If they can find a boss too on this. But do we just let it be? Because we need to hit... Yeah, we're going to pass. We're going to pass with this act. No way they find their last welder, right? No way it happens. Taking a look through our discard pile. We're down 2 boss. It'd be hard for us to pick up this guy. Okay. Yikes. All right, so this is just not going the way that I envisioned. I thought it would be a little bit easier to position ourselves to win this game, but certainly not at this point in time. We see a Quick Ball, gonna grab them a Dedenne. We need one boss and maybe one good Phione target, but that Mewtwo pretty much guarantees that we don't have a good Phione target. They have Heatran. They might be looking for a boss themselves or Great Catcher. Great Catcher would be good. Great Catcher would win them the game as well. But not really too much we can do about it. Welder onto the Mewtwo? No, that's not where you go. You go all in the active because I cannot one-shot the Heatran. That's a major mistake by my opponent. We might be able to sneak this one out unless they have another boss in the deck, which we would assume they do, but we don't know for certain. So there's a switch. Yeah, this is incorrect. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing here. They might have a switch for us on the next turn. Okay, I don't actually hate that. We're going to look for a Marnie. No sooner do I say the words. We'll attach for turn. We'll Marnie. And we will put this to the top. Go ahead here with an Eruption Shot. Take the knockout and then put ourselves in a position to maybe Phione for the game. They would need one energy though to... Well, they would need an energy and a switch to win the game with a GX attack on the Heatran. So see if they're able to do that. Or a welder plus an energy, you know, which they can get with the Giant Hearth. So we'll see what they have. There's a Quick Ball. Do they have a Dedenne left? They have a Crobat left. Oh my gosh, we got sauced on. Oh no, dude. Oh my gosh, they're going to draw through their deck. Certainly they have a switch left, right? They only have 3 in the discard pile. Wow, they played their whole hand. Oh my gosh, they have welder or switch. What do they have here? Yeah, there's the energy attachment to the bench. They just need a switch here to win the game. Put everything on. Yep, there it is. Everything on the Heatran. and we weren't able to find a Stone Energy to force them to not have 7, and they take the win with that Heatran Hot Burn GX. What an exciting game. I'm glad that we got this one on video to show you guys. Even though it was a loss, I feel like that's very representative of how the deck works. Just tough games, really tough games there in our losses, but congratulations to my opponents. Really well played on their part. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like the video. That helps the YouTube algorithm post this more, because you like it, somebody else might like it. And if you're not already a subscriber to this YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to this video right now. What are you waiting for? I know that there are over 60% of people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribers to the channel. Let's change that. Be the change you want to see in the world. I'll talk to you next time, guys. Remember, good luck and also have fun.